Hi, everybody. This is John Largent with the Texas Podcasters Association update for Friday, April the 18th. On today's show, we're going to be briefly talking about more information about the Textcaster newsletter, especially made for you, the members of the Texas Podcasters Association, as well as the upcoming podcast associated with that, the Textcaster podcast. And we've got a very special guest this week. We have Jennifer Hensel. She is the founder of Women Podcasters Network and the Women Podcasters Awards that are right around the corner coming up in May. We've got that and a whole lot more. Stay tuned. We'll be back right after this. Thank you for joining us on this Good Friday. We appreciate you watching this video. And on today's show, I want to share with you more information about the Textcaster, the official newsletter of the Texas Podcasters Association, which is going to be launching on May 15th. We are looking for contributors, article writers, tech reviews, software reviews, anything that you think is pertinent that will benefit the members of the Texas Podcasters Association. We want to hear from you, and we want to make this your association's official newsletter by including you in the content. One of the things I'm really excited about is that our Texas Podcasters Association Facebook group page has grown to over 1,800 members of podcasters right here in the great state of Texas. And we are looking to further grow that group. And we believe that the use and the subscriptions to the new newsletter will help us achieve that, as well as the accompanying podcast that will be a twice monthly podcast featuring some of the articles and guests and featured podcasts from the newsletter. So we really want you to contribute, and we hope that you'll take time to go over to subscribe. There's a pre-subscription campaign going on right now. And of course, it's free to join. And we want to make sure that you're a part of that and that you see that from the very beginning. So again, you've still got exactly a month before that first edition goes live. And we hope that you will be participating, and we hope that you will share with other podcasters that you know. Now, right now, I want to bring in a very special guest all the way from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, Jennifer Hensel. She is the founder of Women Podcasters Network. And what we're going to talk about today is the Women Podcasters Awards. Jennifer, welcome to the Texas Podcasters Association.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Well, I have to tell you, I'm really excited because we're going to be doing this again. This is your second year that you're doing the Women Podcasters Awards, and you had tremendous participation last year. I heard that you had over 400 nominations, over 15,000 voters, and it's just going to be bigger this year, bigger and better. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so we're so excited. So my mission is to help elevate women's voices globally and in the podcasting industry. And so we were so thrilled with the response in our inaugural year last year with the 400 nominees and the 15,000 votes. And not only that, but the support from the podcasting industry. That was just overwhelming and just so thrilling for me to get all the support from the different players in the podcasting industry. And so thank you so much for coming on and being a sponsor as well.
Well, thank you. It's my pleasure. And I noticed that a good friend of the Texas Podcasters Association, and one of my friends, Tom Fox, participated last year. His compliance network is really impressive, and it was amazing to see him give an award away last year. Tell me about how you came about this process, because being with the Women Podcasters Awards, that's a huge net, to cast. And so when you were putting all of this together, what was your thought process, and walk us through how everything kind of came to fruition, because it just seems like it's such a massive undertaking.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Well, my story started quite a few years ago when I was working full time, and I got a call at work, and I always had my business as a side gig. And I got this call at work, and it was my husband's boss. And he said, "You've got to come to the hospital right away. Your husband's been in a bad accident." And when I got to the hospital, I didn't even recognize him. He had been crushed by thousands of pounds of wood, but thankfully he survived. And it was a really long recovery. He still has injuries from that. But one of the things that really impacted me throughout his recovery was the communities that he was involved in before his accident came around and rallied around him. And one of them was the football community. He was a volunteer football coach in the community and an announcer. And players and coaches would come around and say, "Hey, we're here for you, Coach Paul." And that really touched me. And although the whole situation kind of blew up our life, it also really sparked something in us and woke something up that instead of putting all of our passions and purpose on the back burner, to actually, what if we put that out in front and made that our life and live our passion of what we really want to do? And one of the things that really helped us through was podcasting. Listening to podcasts, we learned a lot of things. We brought on a lot of modalities that helped us in our life. And so what happened was we really wanted to do our own podcast and tell our story, because what happened was I ended up inviting people to lunch one day, other business owners. And I thought, if I'm feeling isolated, maybe other people are feeling isolated. And a whole bunch of business owners showed up. Over 50 business owners showed up. And so that one little meeting turned into a group, and the group turned into a large network. And I had multiple chapters in my region of people. So I ended up being the owner of a large business network, and I was able to turn my side gig into my full-time business. And then I was also able to help my husband go from an injured mill worker to an international speaker. And he also did a TED talk about stigma of invisible injuries. So overcoming stigma through storytelling. And so we really talk about storytelling a lot, because when we tell our own story, we find that other people want to tell their story. And so that led us to wanting to do our own podcast, which we did. But, I was studying podcasting for over 10 years through Dave Jackson for 10 years. And it wasn't his fault. I just kept putting it off. And finally, at the end of 2019, we launched our podcast. And it's just been such a joy. And the podcasting community is just so beautiful. Meeting people like you is just such a joy. It's just every week I'm meeting new people who are they enrich our lives. And it's such a thrill to meet so many new people.
Yeah, that's an amazing story. I did not know a number of those details. So that's just unbelievable. But you're absolutely right about the community that podcasting creates. And it's so strange that you mentioned Dave Jackson. I actually spoke to him earlier today. He's over at Podpage, which is a great company that supports podcasters. And I think part of that connection with other podcasters is the fact that we do listen to them, and the way you build an audience is that authenticity, and you hear stories. Sometimes they're very uncomfortable, and so they're being vulnerable, and it's allowing you to take a glimpse into their world, and through that comes a really high level of trust. And so whether you go to Podfest or Podcast Movement or any other events that are out there, you do build a strong connection with people. And so it makes perfect sense that you have built such a strong and dynamic community with the Women Podcasters Women Podcasters Network, and more specifically, the awards that are coming up. Now, I know we've only got a few minutes, but I want to get into the details. So my understanding, and we will put the link to the Women Podcaster Awards in the show notes, and we'll probably have a scroll here as we're actually talking. But nominations are actually open now.
Yes.
So that's happening quickly.
Yeah, so nominations are open until the end of April. We opened in February, and they go from February through to the end of April. And so people can go to womenpodcasters.com, and you can find a button there to help you to nominate yourself in the Women Podcasters Awards. And podcasters, so women podcasters, women producers, women broadcasters. So as you know, so someone who may have a show, let's say on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or something like that, but it doesn't have an RSS feed, we do have a category for that called broadcasters. But all of the other ones have RSS feeds, and that's what makes it a podcast, right? And then also for expert guests, we have a category as well.
Wow. I was going to ask you what are some of the areas that you covered, and you covered that perfectly. Well, nominations are going on now. And for people that are maybe new podcasters or have been doing it for a year or two, and their friends say, hey, this is really good, you should share this. Is this something that they should get involved in?
Yeah, my whole goal, like I said, is to elevate women's voices. And I've made this a people's choice type of awards to make it collaborative so that it also gives them a vehicle to reach out to their audience and to engage their audience. And so it actually is a really good way to get your audience to support you because your listeners want to support you and they want reasons to connect with you. And so this is a great way to get them more connected and build more listener loyalty and get more visibility.
Yeah, and I watched last year's award just to kind of get a feel for it, and it's really exciting. And there were some familiar faces, some familiar names, a few celebrities that were in the mix. I saw the voice of Lisa Simpson win an award, Yardley Smith. So there's just a lot going on there, and I want to make sure that that the folks here in the Texas Podcasters Association have access and are staying updated on all the things going on with women podcasters at womenpodcasters.com. Jennifer Hensel, thank you so much for joining us. And I really look forward to the next few months and seeing those awards.
Thank you so much for having me, John.
Thank you so much, Jennifer, for joining us. And we look forward to hearing more about the Women Podcasters Awards coming up in the month of May. That's going to about wrap it up for this week in the Texas Podcasters Association. If you have any questions, if you want to be part of the show, if you have any upcoming events, please feel free to reach out to me on the Texas Podcasters Association Facebook page, and I will be sure to get back with you. And we look forward to your participation in the new newsletter, the official newsletter of the Texas Podcasters Association, the TexCaster. That'll do it for this week. I hope you have a great Easter weekend, and we look forward to talking to you soon. Thank you.